So in this video, I'll be going over the step-by-step process for the field inspection work. So typically, when you receive a notification on your phone, it's no different than if you're receiving like a solicitation for like a closing or a seller's packet, anything having to do with signing. Sometimes the signing service will have an order where they want you to do a field inspection. So with the field inspection, one of the first things you're going to do is follow the instructions. They will send you a instruction sheet in the email, and then the goals of the pictures are to show the condition of the property. So usually, from my experience, I noticed when I've done a field inspection and submitted the photos, maybe a couple days later or a week later, there's a sale for that particular property, and I do the seller's packet for that same property that I just did the field inspection like a few days earlier or a week earlier prior. So once they receive those photos, that means that they made a decision to purchase that property and make an offer, where now we're doing the transaction, the closing, the seller's packet transaction. As far as the photos, they're going to ask you to take a photo, the widest shot. So typically I have an iPhone, so I usually use the widest shot, which is like a 16.9, and then I would typically take a photo of the front of the house. I cross the street so I get like a big view of the front of the house. Then I'll take a picture of the side of the house, each side, and then the backyard, showing the back of the house. And then I would do one full video of the outside of the property, starting from the front, and then I walk around and do a video of everything of the house, the backyard condition, the roof if possible, the structure of the house. Then next I do the photos. So I usually tend to wear a mask if I'm going inside the property, or gloves, because you never know if you're going to be touching something. So it's for your protection, but it's optional. I tend to like to wear gloves or a mask. Once I walk in, that's when I do one full video of the inside of the property, and that includes the garage. So I'll do, and I'm holding my camera steady, or you can use like a stick, and sometimes that works better, but I'm pretty good at holding my camera horizontally, so I just do one shot, and it usually lasts between like 2 to 4 to 5 minutes, depending on how big the house is. So I'll do one full shot. I'll make sure I get the living room, the closet space, the kitchen, underneath the kitchen sink, the bathrooms, the garage, the hallway, the closets, the bedrooms, extra bedrooms. So what I do, I typically prepare myself. When I look at the order, it'll tell me the address of the property. So I will like Google it, and then it'll tell me like how many bedrooms it has. So I'm more prepared. So I make sure I don't forget anything. I like make a note to myself. This house is a 4-bedroom. One time I had a house that was, oh my God, it was like a big mansion, and it was gutted out. It was like out in the boonies somewhere above this, like way up in the mountains, and it was like this huge property, and looking at it from Google, it was like no comparison when I got there in person. It was completely very risky to do that because it was unsafe. Um, Windows were busted out. There was no flooring in some of the spaces. It was like dirt, concrete, a lot of wood, a lot of debris. So it was a challenging house I had to do. But you know, it got done. So getting back to the filming of that of the property, they want one shot, so no stopping. Just so you have to be ready. You know, like, okay, I know this house, 4 bedrooms, so I have to make sure I'm doing each room. I'm not forgetting a room. That's why it's good to know how many bedrooms that property has before you go there. So once I do all that, and I'll end in the backyard, because that's the instructions to end the footage in the backyard. That's what I typically do. Then I take angles of each room, usually 2 angles. And then in the kitchen area, I do 3 angles. The bathroom area, I do 3 pictures. And the most crucial part is they want to know the condition, like the plumbing part. And if you see anything in the house that's pertinent to the condition of the house, like if it has holes in the wall, if you notice like maybe a roof leak, like water spots, like water damage, any type of damage, they want a photo of that. They want you to take a picture of the cooling system outside, so the electrical panel, where they have the air conditioning, they want a picture of that. The fireplace, the inside of the fireplace, so the outside. And those are like the main things, like the plumbing underneath the sink, the kitchen, the bathrooms, the garage, and any damage to the floor, walls. Anything that you notice, they want that photo. And then once you're done with that, they also want you to upload them. So they usually give you a time frame. They'll say in the instructions they want this uploaded to this like a shared file, and they'll typically give you a deadline, like within 3 hours or within 2 hours, just depending on who assigns you the work. And then you just want to be mindful of that and respectful, because now if you're having some problems, sometimes I've run into some issues where I didn't have a good Wi-Fi connection, and I had to go all the way home and upload the photos because my Wi-Fi was acting funky. But I notified the company to let them know, and they were understandable. And then if I needed extra help, they would help me with that. But that's rare. But typically, it's really easy and simple. The pictures are already in your phone, and then you just upload it to a file that they give you on the instructions, and that's it. And then you just send them your invoice, and then they mail you a check. You know, it just depends on how the service is, how your company works. But in general, they will pay you after you're done with the job, and when like in a few days later. And then that's basically it. Like, you typically have like a checklist, and you just have to make sure you have space on your phone. Now I have an iPhone. It's an older iPhone. It's an iPhone 13. But you can have like a Galaxy. You just want to make sure that you have enough memory. And you know how Google is, if you have like all these emails, and you got to make sure that you have enough space before you even accept an assignment. Always check your storage on your phone, and make sure you have adequate enough storage so that you can get the work completed. And then that's it. It's lots of fun. Usually the people don't want to be in the film, but sometimes you also want to check and see if they have any dogs. I had a situation where the client wasn't present, but her sons were, and they had lots of dogs. And these were not like regular dogs. These were like pet bulls or German Shepherd. But of course, to every owner they're harmless, but if you're not used to being around those type of dogs, usually they're very kind. They'll, like in this situation, they put the dogs all in the backyard when I was inside the home to take the photos. And then when I had to go outside, they put all the dogs in the garage. But that was an experience. But of course, you know, nothing happened. But it's just like, it just depends on the job. Some people will have dogs, some won't. And sometimes it could be a house where it's in very, very bad condition, or it could be like a house with a lot of stuff in it. Kind of like similar to hoarders, but not as extreme as hoarders, but like kind of like that in certain rooms. You know, you have to kind of move things around, or I don't even think it's wise to touch anything. Just if they tell you, if you can't get a good shot, just make sure it's safe. Only take a picture that you can take a picture of. Don't try to like move things around and, you know, so you can see the picture. Say, unfortunately, I couldn't really get a picture of the closet because maybe the closet door was broken, or I couldn't get inside. You know, they're pretty much understanding. Just all about communication. But I've been doing the field inspection now for, I would say, about over a year now. Yeah, I would say about a year. And I just, what I did, I just watched some YouTube videos and kind of got some ideas. And then I got, you know, enough confidence to like, okay, I'll just try it. And, you know, it was not that bad. It was pretty fun and easy, self-explanatory. But that's it for now. So hopefully I was able to bring some value to you. If you've been thinking about becoming a field inspector, it's a great way to make extra money on the side. Typically, like I said, it pays between $35 and $50, or when you go directly with the company, it can pay like $150, $200 if it's like a commercial property. So the prices vary depending on who hired you and how large the property is. Sometimes you can be hired to take photos of a business, that too. So, you know, basically it's a service that's needed, and it's becoming more and more accessible and more popular now. And so it's, you know, pretty cool. I mean, I like it. I haven't had any issues going into a stranger's home. Usually they're very gracious, very nice. I mean, it's just like, you know, if you're going over to your family's house, or usually people, they're on their way moving out anyway. They'll tell you like, oh, well, this isn't going to be here because I'm going to be moving out. And so it's like usually rentals or sometimes owners, and they're ready to take the next chapter in their lives and move on, maybe move to another town or what have you. And so you're there to help them, and it's like a win-win. So, but there's several companies, but if you're a notary, you're in the database. Usually these signing services do these other jobs. It's another service, it's another product that they offer. So you may get that, but if you do get it and you're not kind of apprehensive, just, you know, go for it. I mean, just go for it. You won't know until you try it. And then, you know, they'll help you. Like if you get into like a rut or whatever, like anything like technical, like with the photos. Usually that's not really an issue. It's really self-explanatory. Most of us take family photos anyway, and we upload it to Google and share with our family. So it's really simple. It's like doing it for your family or your friends, you know. But for the most part, if you do like 2 a day or 10 in a week, I mean, you would have to like be signed up with different signing services, or even direct connection with the company that does that. You could Google it online, and then you can apply. You just fill out the application, and they'll need like your ID and stuff like that. Depending on, you just have to answer some questions and brief questions. And then depending on the company that you're in, then if they need like a service in your area, then they'll just give you a call. It's, it's I don't know how many people are doing it, but it's all like nationwide. So you can get hired from a company in another state and do work in California. So, because right now I'm in California, but most of the jobs I've done have been close proximity to my home. So the work that's close proximity to my home is they charge they offer $35, and then the properties that are a little bit further, I would say like no more than like 35 minutes is $50. So hey, I don't mind because it's easy. You get in and you get out. So it's like getting paid that in an hour. Like I'm making $50 an hour, I'm making $35 an hour. And then the gas, is really not, if it's like in the same neighborhood, I mean, you're not really spending much money in gas. But if you're driving like 30 minutes, I mean, it's just something extra you can have under your resume of a product or service that you offer. Okay, so that's it for now, and you have a wonderful, blessed day. Thanks for watching.